They said it was impossible. They said, you can't put together the most elite team of comic book reviewers on the planet and do, a podcast or something like that? Despite all that, today we can proudly announce... Yeah, they were right. We couldn't do it. So instead, we brought you the most vile, ignorant, unprofessional group of comic book enthusiasts we could find. This is Panel to Panel, the Game Rage Magazine comic podcast.
Welcome back to Panel to... I'm trying to do that Cockney or whatever the Scottish accent from Ali from V for Vendetta.
Welcome back to the... Oh, that's kind of like fucking Irish. That's not really Scotland. Yeah, from the fucking goddamn asshole from fucking V for Vendetta number 8. Well, welcome everyone. Back again for another episode. Darth Vader and Friends. What the fuck is this? Hold on. I own this book. God damn it.
It's hanging out with Chewbacca. It's like, oh man, he was friends with Lando Calrissian.
Yeah, I got this. I got this book for Chloe. I don't know if it's this one, but it's like Darth Vader, and my daughter. So there's one each. There's one for your son and one for your daughter. And then I got the one for it's Leia and them doing stuff, and she's like being an asshole to him. And I'm like, oh, it's what Chloe does to me. So works out. Anyways. We're here today, and we're going to talk about Darth Vader.
And Friends.
Darth Vader, number 8. And I already said this is panel to panel. Jesus Christ. This is fucking terrible. But anyways.
What?
If you want to listen to more stuff before we get into this, you can go follow on YouTube. YouTube, at Game Rage Magazine. Everyone's doing it. It's literally all the rage. Additionally... you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. If you like the animes and the mangas from the place that we refer to as the Japans, you should go listen to the Anime Syndicate. And you can follow our good buddy Frank on Instagram at anime_syndicate_podcast. Also, if you like music and you want to hear Adam literally predict the future and then it come true, go listen to All Gas No Trash and follow him on Instagram at All Gas No Trash Official.
Good evening, California. This is the Fate Machine, Adam Salt.
Adam, the Fate Machine. That is true. You are the fucking Fate Machine. Anyways, yeah, that's about it. Darth Vader, number 8. We get off in a nice, very, very interesting combat pose. I'm sure that Dr. Aphra is looking extremely thick from behind in this photo, but we just don't get to see it. Vader with his lightsaber out. Evil C-3PO and R2-D2. Evil R2 has the minigun out. He's ready to fuck some shit up, and they're getting cracking. So here we go. As we begin with all these episodes of Darth Vader, Book 2, Part 2, Shadows and Secrets. Chaos disrupts the galaxy. After the destruction of the Death Star by a mysterious, force-strong rebel pilot, the Sith Lord Darth Vader was deemed responsible by his master, Emperor Palpatine. Now, pursuing his own agenda, Vader enlisted the assistance of the bounty hunter Boba Fett and archaeologist Dr. Aphra, who was originally created by Edward Erdelak, and it was stolen from him in an untimely manner. In an attempt to find the boy who destroyed the Death Star, Vader returned to the desert planet of Tatooine, only to find an empty husk of a hut, scorched with blaster marks, where the boy battled the infamous bounty hunter. Elsewhere, on the Outer Rim, planet Sun Tool, a gathering of bounty hunters and mercenaries are greeted by Aphra, who offers them the chance to steal the sum of a lifetime from an Imperial ship. And we get to Anthem Prime, Edge of the Outer Rim. And I forget what the fuck class this is of like Star Destroyer.
It's a weird looking one.
Yeah, it's in the Mandalorian series, that Moff Gideon guy had one of these. That was like his ship. But anyway, this is like some kind of fucking transport ship.
Do they explain why they have different shapes?
I think it's just because of whatever the fuck Palpatine decided he wanted. I don't know. I don't think they actually do, because it doesn't even make sense. Like, because okay, it doesn't need to be aerodynamic because you're in space. So like,
and it has large enough. I don't know what you want to call like thrusting units or mechanisms for rocket physics that.
Yeah.
What the fuck does it matter what it looks like as far as shape goes?
Yeah, it's irrelevant. I mean, literally, Star Destroyers are essentially a fucking Dorito, like a thin Dorito chip.
Maybe it's speed because I don't know, like TIE Fighter. I don't fucking know.
TIE Fighters are also just an H. Like, what the fuck? Like that doesn't seem.
At least an X-Wing is like somewhat of a balance between speed when it's closed form, when it's just like the.
And it's got the shit ton of firepower when you open the X foils or whatever. But anyway,
see, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know.
So now we got Afra and Afra and friends fucking hanging out. Bosk, IG-97 or whatever the fuck number this asshole is.
IG-90, I think.
And then we got the midget. I forget what the midget Mandalorian's name is, but we got him there too. And
I think it's like B-Box or B something or
Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yeah.
They're crossing over with the Ninja Turtles. And so she says, all right, when they enter the asteroid belt, we move. And then she's like, come on, somebody say it. And then evil C-3PO, very, very well, Mistress Afra.
His name's 000, goddammit.
Oh yeah, 000. That's right. I keep forgetting his name. Very well, Mistress Afra. Well, what asteroid belt? And then she pushes a button, and all the and then this fucking thing, this whatever this factory on this asteroid is, detonates, and fucking now they're in an asteroid field. And they're like, the Imperials are like, oh shit, entering an uncharted asteroid collision impact. And then fucking they just start getting pelted. And of course they shoot an ion torpedo and they get up inside that bitch, and she's like, sweet, for the next 5 minutes, these motherfuckers will have their systems down because of this collision. They think it's a side effect. Let's go to work. And what's funny is they're upside down because they're walking underneath, and like, they put the dialogue box upside down. Like I thought that was kind of funny. And she's like, hey, I want everyone to know, I don't normally do this kind of droid work. And is the fucking the little midget guy. And so she's just like, listen, in 10 minutes, you'll be able to make a house out of credit ingots, even if you were as tall as the Wookiee. Anyway, BT's got his own to-do list. And so evil R2-D2 is flying off somewhere. They get in. They're B-Box, yeah, that's his name. So they're just like kind of talking shit a little bit to each other. B-Box gets all pissy, and she's like, all right, let's get ready, because there's gonna be vault security here in 3, 2, and then pew pew pew, all those fucking little
like the probe droids.
The probe droids, yeah.
But
and
he makes a point that he's like, man, I don't even understand why they put these goddamn probe droids everywhere. It's like, you think they would want actual manpower here with something so coveted as like the Imperial or the Republic, whatever the unit of currency they have.
Yeah.
It's like, why not have real people? It's like, well, at least the droids, you can trust them because money is like, they don't phase them.
They're not going to steal anything.
Yeah.
So then he said, Bosk is like, hard to believe Imperials use droids for work like this, obsolete. And then IG-90, interjection, offensive. And he's like, bro, you're an IG. That is not the same. You are not the same as these fucking dumbasses.
He's like, but it's the same kind. I'm a battle droid, but they are pro droid, but we are the same kind.
Interjection, you are racist. And so then Afra's like, well, the Imperial Stormtrooper pension plan isn't exactly market leading. They're not letting anyone with anything other than a program in their head get anywhere near the good stuff. Here we go. Rolls in the little detonator, blows them to bits. They're dead. They all come in, fucking shoot up what's left. And they're like, all right, let's get this shit out of here. And fucking, she's like, all right, we only got a couple of minutes. Let's fucking get this door open before they get in here. And he's like, yeah, let them in here. And she, dude, murder on your own time, like, boss. If we let them through, we got to blow the ship to cover our traces. We got to make sure that no one knows we were even here. And Now with the Homer set, let's run for our lives. 000, tell the big hairy lump he can start his run. Mr. Chrysanthemum, Mistress Ava informs me you can begin. And then he's just like, and then he fucking just starts hauling ass in his little ship, and he just starts fucking going towards the thing. And he's got another fucking asteroid like towing behind him, and he's basically just flinging this fucking asteroid at the ship, and he just fucking cracks the ship straight in half, and. So they all come back, and he's, welcome back, Mistress Afra. The asteroid appears to have successfully penetrated the hull. The ingots and all evidence you were ever there is jettisoning into space. It's rather pretty, though. It's rather a shame that no humanoids were. And she's like, okay, whatever, let's go. Here we go. Hope BT can get enough of a magnetic field to scoop up the loot. And so basically their whole plan was to crack the ship and then fucking have BT fucking do this magnetic field and then collect as much as he could.
Yeah, pull a jack move.
Yeah, and so then the what's his name, Bebop is like, oh, are we rich? And she's like, well, I mean, we're richer than we were. And then she's like, come on, the math was hard, all right? There were a lot of variables and we didn't fucking know. It's still a score, still a huge score. There's just 2 boxes of this shit that there was like a shit ton of it.
Yep.
And then IG statement, it was huger. And then she's like, hey, lose the long, factually forget that. Cheer up, IG90. We ripped off the Empire and they didn't even know we were here. Well, no such thing as ED credits. Let's carve this Naboo Pond foul up. And then she's like, all right, I fronted the cash for all the equipment.
That'd be $60.
That'd be $75. I'll take the expense and then divide by, and they all fucking pull out their guns and fucking point them at each other. And she's like, okay, fine. I guess I'll take the expenses out of my share. Jesus, you fucking bastards. She's like, you guys are not team players. And he's like, brr. And so she's like, yeah, the Wookiee's right. You better not have crossed this Afra. Statement, you can't hide from the bounty hunters. And then 000, strictly speaking, you can hide. It just tends to be ineffective. Running is statistically better, but only fractionally. And then she's like, comic, murderous pedantry aside, the droid's right. You all know I've got a fairly lax attitude to property rights, but do you think I'd cross 4 of the deadliest bounty hunters in the galaxy? And then Boss gets all up in her grill and he's like, I think you'd think about it. And then she's like, and then slink away. And she's like, oh, fuck. Do this again soon, Tim, sometime? My employer has more work coming up. And then B-Box like, next time you pay up front, Afra. You know, B-Box, I'll see what I can do. And then we go to Anthem 13, Moon of Anthem Prime. And we see 000, BT, Afra, and Black Chrysanthemum hanging out there. And then essentially all of the fucking money that was the rest of the money just basically flew to this moon, and they fucking had this little satellite thing, like magnetic field generator, swooping it up. And then she's like, all right, well, here you go, Chrysanthemum. Here's 5 times the score on the other thing. And yeah, I'll help you with the other problem. He's like, yeah, I do like my arms attached to my body. We're in this together. Cross 3 bounty hunters? Sure. 4? Even I'm not that suicidal. And then he leaves, and then Vader comes out of the background. I promised the Wookiee help finding the people responsible for cutting them up. Any chance to help me out? And then he goes, we will see. Okay, we have a droid factory. We have the bounty hunters. We have the money to pay the bounty hunters. What next? Is it a holiday? I think I'm doing a little holiday time. I need certain information confirmed from one who is proving elusive. Oh, the kid who destroyed the Death Star? Not yet. First this. And then he fucking hands her a little fucking data chit. He basically tells her to only contact him when you have succeeded. If you do not contact me within a month, I will contact you. That is not something you would enjoy. And then fucking 000 When Mr. IG90 received a share, I can't help but take my continuing poverty somewhat personally. She's like, oh, you take joy in the work. And then he's like, I was not locked in a room with a humanoid and a sharp implement, Mistress Afra. There was little joy. Patience 000. In this outfit, it can be only a matter of time. And so then she's like going around looking on Megiddo, fucking, there's just all kinds of shit happening. Sun Tool, Anthem 14. And we go back to, the general. What the fuck's this guy's name
Grand
again?
General Tag.
Tag, there you go. God, I keep forgetting his fucking name. He's like, I give you the Plasma Devils. We have made great progress in the sector. The criminal organizations have been disciplined. Planetary governors march more closely in step. Rebel forces have primarily scuttled away from our surge in forces. The Plasma Devils are the one exception. They're buried deep and still defiantly active. To crush them is our main remaining task before we can move on. The Astarte twins, well, this will be your responsibility. And the fucking Admiral Akbar is like, really? Rooting out insurgents followed by a full military deployment? The twins have very little experience in running a campaign. It should be me. Rah, it's a trap. And he says, you were a General Carbon. Even if you still held that rank, I am Grand General. Do not think to question me. The Emperor thinks you a useful tool. You have much to prove before I consider you a peer. Prove yourself. I also have something in mind for you. We're still working on the Shadow of the Death Star's destruction. It was a major strategic and propaganda victory for the rebels. We need a coup of our own. We have certain leads that point us towards the rebel pilot responsible for its destruction. I wish him captured, or failing that, killed. And then Vader just says, no. What was that, Lord Vader? The task is mine. My grudge with this rebel is personal. Man, it is fucking fist in the air.
Yeah.
I will hunt the pilot down and deliver him to the Emperor personally. And then this other bitch, I forget what her name is, but the science bitch.
That with the one with the balls.
Yeah. We're not here for you to salve your conscience for your failure, Vader. You have no idea how many brilliant minds were snuffed out in that explosion. Vader has already failed in this matter. The Mon Calamari has been in a medical center for a decade and cares for nothing other than regaining an army command. It should be me, Tag. And then
she's the choose me girl.
Yeah.
Pick me.
And then Tag's like, you're both disqualified because you and Vader are so personally invested. Your passion is disrupted. I refuse to let your emotionality disrupt my plans. And he says, Toulon, that's her name. I have a certain research problem that requires your attention. And Vader, I have another propaganda mission for you. The Sun Tool's pride's fortune was stolen in transit to Anthem Prime. Whoever is responsible needs to be punished. It was Vader all along.
Oh crap!
And he's like, "Oh, I thought it was lost." And he's like, "Yes." So the thieves would have. You think we have evidence that suggests otherwise? Find whoever is responsible. Give them the Emperor's justice. And he says, "As you wish, Grand General." And that brings the meeting to a close. You have your task. You're dismissed. I await your successful reports with interest. Oh, Vader, there's one more thing. And we see fucking, I would basically say, like, this dude is like fucking, he is going to be the goddamn detective fucking, Detective Conan or like the Sherlock Holmes fucking character.
Especially with the monocle.
Oh man, the monocle and that mustache, what is that called? That mustache that he has, that fucking mutton chop mustache.
Yeah.
This is Inspector Thanoff. He's your replacement adjutant for Un-I. He's to assist you in all things. The Emperor informs me that this is still a difficult transitional period for you. As the Emperor wishes, we have a start. At the least, the culprits likely use the moons. It's an area that you're already familiar with, and recently that knowledge will prove likely useful. And Vader's like, knowledge? And this dude's like, from your trip to Anthem 13 yesterday. And Vader's like, the fuck? And this dude's like, I believe the slight ionization of surface dust on your armor is characteristic of that particular moon. Within 24 hours, it'd have been lost, but for a day or so, it's quite distinctive. He's like, God fucking shit. You are most perceptive. Fuck.
He's got like the. Funny enough, again, with the fact that Darth Vader can't portray emotions, he's got like the pin needle, covering his his metal visor, his plastic visor where his eyes are at. It's like, son of a bitch, you motherfucker.
He's like, Lord Vader, I'm not a sycophant, traitor, or worst of all, an incompetent like Unai. I'm a professional investigator. In this, a simple case. Larceny is the least of the great crimes. Mark my words, we'll have tidied this away within days. And then Vader's like, God damn it.
Motherfucker. He's like, I know the Emperor's this General Tag fucker.
He's like, this motherfucker's gotta go. And so then he's like, we shall see, Panoff. We shall see. And obviously, we do know that, like, Vader does somehow get rid of this guy. I mean, he has to, because in Empire Strikes Back, Vader is in charge of searching for rebels. So
it's just funny because it's like he's gonna have to cut. He's like the equivalent of Putin. He's like, what happened to your last guy? He's like, I don't know. He fell out of a window.
I don't know, man. I don't know. He just fell out of a window. And then we get the next shot of the next fucking cover, which is Vader staring out a window and seeing a shit ton of fucking Star Destroyers, which is pretty cool. So, anyways, this is a good issue. I enjoyed it. It was nice and fun. Nice. This is nice and light compared to fucking.
How dense V for Vendetta is.
Yes.
It's got a heist. Got some nice IG-90 humor with the droids.
Oh yeah.
And fucking 000 saying some
shit about hating humans and wanting to murder them all.
And not getting paid.
Yeah, and he's not getting paid. Anyways, yeah. So that was it.
Super Galactic Fun Time.
Yeah, Super Galactic Fun Time with Josh and Adam. Panel to panel. Anyways, if you want to read more of if you want to listen to more of our stuff, you can listen on YouTube. Game Rage Magazine on YouTube. Additionally, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram and go listen to All Gas No Trash podcast. Also, you can follow Frank at anime_syndicate_podcast on Instagram. That'll do it for us. Catch you guys on the next one.
That was Panel to Panel, the Game Rage Magazine comic book podcast. Thanks for listening. If you want to know more and follow along, go to Instagram and TikTok. Follow at Game Rage Magazine. If you want to follow on Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Tune in next time.